Okay, all right. Sonal, thanks a lot for joining in and giving us that quick analysis. Well, let's welcome Amit Gupta, Senior VP and Fund Manager at ICICI Securities, who joins us on the show. Hi, Amit. Good afternoon. How are you feeling, Amit, about the markets? And I believe, a couple of these themes you continue to like. So tell us about the building materials space out there. We had Kajaria Ceramics that came out with a set of numbers. You continue to remain bullish on that one?
So I think markets are in good shape, first of all. So there can be, some consolidation possible for now couple of months, because if you see, it was first of all driven from the global markets also. We saw S&P actually giving higher returns than Nifty actually in the last few months. So S&P has moved up in anticipation of good results. But if you look at the Goldman Sachs results over there, actually it has disappointed. I think that is where some consolidation is possible there, and it is also possible in the Indian markets. But the lower dollar, I think, is definitely coming to the rescue for the emerging markets, and we are seeing more FII flows actually coming in, and that is where downside seems to be limited, and it can be more stock-specific kind of scenario. Now, coming to Kajaria and housing materials, I think definitely they are looking good, because the initial move came in the real estate players, and now it is being followed by the building material players. So, for example, if you look at Kajaria, so it has increased its market share from 31 to 36%. And we have seen that the lower gas prices have added to the margins. And I think going forward, whatever tiles volume growth you are expecting, so industry is growing by 8%, but they are talking about in double digit. And going forward, I think 13-15% of growth the company is talking about. So I think the canvas is good. It has gone through a long consolidation around, I think, 1100, 1200 levels, and now the stock is coming out. So that is how the market is. I think that a stock-specific scenario is likely to prevail, and such kind of companies actually can outperform the index.
The other one is Supreme Industries, right, Amit? Good afternoon. I think it's the first down day, and that too just a 1% cut after almost 13, 14 days straight of an up move. And when, I point out the performance of Supreme, someone said, well, look at what Astral has done. So Supreme is an underperformer. But good for you, you own the name. What's happened here? Is something changing at the margin, or again, like Kajaria, are they getting share? Any latest data points on this one?
So they have already moved up. I think if you look at Supreme Industries, it was around 2,600,000 points of move we have seen already in the stock. And that is where actually whenever market goes into some consolidation, I think you will see that consolidation coming in the stocks also. So margins, yes. So they have margins. Actually, it is definitely a volatile, variable, because it has gone up, gone down. But I think the overall volume growth is the key. If that remains, I think margins will pick up again, because if crude comes down and PVC prices remains lower, I think obviously Supreme Industries is going to benefit. If you look at previously, we had seen Astral Poly was benefiting because of CPVC. But when the actual crude prices declined and PVC was down, I think Supreme Industry, which were at a much lower valuation than Astral, I think this was a company which is seeing cash flows. And I think this money flow will continue in the stock. Possibly some kind of decline is possible. And I think then we need to see possibly the next level of upside.
Okay, we are getting some commentary from Bajaj Finance, expecting gradual moderation in the net interest income. Cost of funds has gone up 22 basis points Q&Q. So I guess it's the worry about what happens to margins from here on, incremental higher cost of funds, perhaps lower NII. And maybe that's one reason why the market has chose to sell off on Bajaj Finance after a pretty strong show in this quarter. Amit, hi, good afternoon. What have you sort of made of the financial numbers so far? We've had a lot of the bigger banks report, ICICI, HDFC, Kotak, IndusInd. What's your read-through? Even in the non-bank side, we've got Bajaj Finance today. And if you were to allocate incremental money, where would you put it?
So I think one is PSU banks, the other is the vehicle financing companies. And the reason being, if you look at the PSU banks, first of all, this quarter, I think in comparison to private banks, you are going to see almost a very significant jump in the PAT. So that is what is happening. You have seen the Union Bank results and some other PSU bank results have come out, and they have definitely given a very positive move. I think 95% of PAT year-on-year growth is expected in the PSU segment, PSU bank segment, and the private banks, it is 35% of growth. So that is where the mid-cap private banking, possibly that is one segment which possibly can come out. and the PSU banks. So PSU banks, I think when the NPAs are at 10-year lows, credit cost also is at 10-year lows, and the corporate lending book is just growing by 6%. I think there is a lot of room. So once it is growing, I think you will see these corporate linked banks performing much better going ahead. And this is where I think more alpha is there. I think vehicle financing, Mahindra and Mahindra Finance is one, I think, which is on the cusp of some kind of re-rating happening. This has been one of the laggard stocks. And I think the way the focus is there for the management now, they are talking about more SME and then more affluent investors focus. So I think overall ROA and asset quality, both are likely to improve. And this is the next kick actually for M&M Finance. I think our focus is there on the stock, and we believe this is the market now. When the market is already little elevated, you need to find out some stories which can create alpha. So the old stories where the valuations are already very steep, unfortunately, some kind of disappointment coming in numbers, you are not able to get that kind of returns or alpha. And these are the stocks like auto financing, which is coming out now. And when the interest rates are topping out, I think this is one segment which comes better, because when interest rates are moving up and they give a fixed rate of automobile loan, I think they were the laggard before, so they should come out now.
You got that. Any thoughts on, I think in the industrial space, you have a few ideas as well, right? Our team was just pointing out, my colleague Hormuz was pointing out that something like a BHEL, actually a lot of these stocks of, yesteryears are coming back and sort of crossing levels they've not done for a long time. BHEL 100 in this case. But I think you own names like SKF, etc. Talk to us about that space, Amit, that you like.
Yeah, so I think the PSUs definitely are coming out. And why it is happening? Because I think when the government balance sheet is better, generally you see good moves in the PSUs. And right now we are seeing whether it is capital goods or power or PSU banks, I think the PSUs from these spaces actually are coming out. And when I look at industrials and look at some of the private players, in fact, one of the largest manufacturer of bearings in the world, SKF, its balance sheet actually is turning around. If you see now, when the more wagons, railway wagons, where we have seen more than 50% of capex. If the companies like BHEL, if they are the beneficiary, simultaneously, if you look at SKF, the bearing companies are definitely beneficiary of this. And that is where we are seeing SKF, which is 50% exposure to automobile, 50% exposure to infra. I think from the wagon also it is going to be benefited, and from the automobile cycle bottoming out, it is going to be benefited. So my sense is that the coming quarter numbers also are going to be favorable. And that is where the stock, which had already corrected from close to 5,000 plus levels to 4,000, and it has reverted. I think this sustenance of the stock prices are likely to continue, and you will see good returns actually possibly going ahead.
Okay. All right, Amit, appreciate you stopping by and discussing all those ideas with us. Wishing you a good evening ahead, and thanks so much for joining in. But let's focus on the